Well, hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you 5 must-know scales for playing the blues. Of course, you don't have to know these scales, but they're really great and useful for playing over a blues chord progression. There are 2 minor-based scales and there are 3 major-based scales that I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate, and I'm going to try to convince you that the best blues musicians out there use a combination of these sounds to create a real fluid and expressive sound. And of course, the blues is all about expression, it's all about passion, it's all about attitude. And I'm going to give you some ammunition to use when creating your own blues solos. So what are the scales? We have the minor pentatonic, which is going to be familiar to most of you, the blues scale, which is very similar to the minor pentatonic, the major pentatonic, the Mixolydian Mode, and the Bebop Dominant scale, which is a very cool sound and a very cool scale for playing a little more of a jazzy blues sound, but still very much blues. So, I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you're new here, leave me a comment if you have any questions. I wish you all the best. And if you'd like to download all my free backing tracks, all my free chord charts, there's tons of freebies here and I'm constantly uploading new things. So just click the link below, download all my freebies, and I wish you all the best with your playing. Let's jump into the lesson. Okay, we're in the key of G. That's a great blues key. And I'm going to show you the minor pentatonic scale and demonstrate it to begin with. So the minor pentatonic scale goes like this. And you can play this over any kind of blues. Let's say that's the groove. Good old blues shuffle. Okay, so this is the minor pentatonic scale. That's a great sound, and of course that's going to be familiar to so many of you out there because so many great players use that pentatonic scale. It's just that one shape that everybody out there, well, almost everybody's going to be familiar with that, but the way to really practice it is to just get so used to it and so comfortable with it and really listen to the sound you're getting from your guitar, work on your vibrato, which you get from kind of angling your finger to the side like that, rocking it back and forth. Try to hit the target notes of the chord, so when you go to that 4 chord, hit these notes. Back to the 1 chord. On the 5 chord, hit those target notes. But this is not a target note lesson, this is just a real overview of these scales that are really worth diving into. Of course, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. But that's the pentatonic scale. You can use it over any real blues and so many rock and roll songs. Now let's talk about the blues scale. So the blues scale is the same as the pentatonic, the minor pentatonic scale, but it has a flat 5th added, so it sounds like this. There's that flat 5. So let's play that scale. Same old shuffle blues in G. Okay, this is the blues scale. Something like that. You can hear it's got a little more of a jazzy quality with that flat 5 sound. It always reminds me of that song Take 5. But the flat 5 note is really expressive and can be a great blues sound. It's the blues scale, they call it. So far we've covered the minor pentatonic scale, the blues scale, I know I'm going over these very quickly, but I just really want to give you a bird's eye view of these important sounds, because many of you will be familiar with these scales. And that flat 5 note is just, well, the blues scale is the same as the minor pentatonic, just with that flat 5 note added. And I should say that when you first learn the minor pentatonic scale, you should expect to spend like 2 months just playing that scale. Just learn it in one position, then learn it in another position, then learn it in another position. I have a course called 10 Scales and Modes You Must Know that is worth checking out. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the major-based scales now. So we're going to start with the major pentatonic. The major pentatonic scale sounds like this. It always reminds me of Chinese music. Which is very much based around the major pentatonic scale. This is a very useful scale for playing blues when the minor pentatonic just sounds a little bit like that. The major pentatonic sounds like this. Sounds a little sweeter. B.B. King used to use this scale a lot when he would go. It's got a really nice sound. The Allman Brothers also used to use the major pentatonic a lot. Reminds me of Ramblin' Man, that song. So, I'll demonstrate what the major pentatonic sound can do over a blues shuffle. Here we go. As you can hear, quite a different character, and would be quite suitable for more majory, kind of sweeter sounding bluesy things. That's the major pentatonic, and let me talk a little bit about going between the minor pentatonic and the major pentatonic, because it can be a really cool sound. So you could, for example, play a phrase in the minor pentatonic like this, and then go. And that would be going from the minor pentatonic to the major pentatonic. Or you could go from the major pentatonic to the minor pentatonic. So you might start with the major pentatonic, and go to the minor pentatonic. You can totally combine them within a blues shuffle. Let me demonstrate that. Here we go. Good fun. And of course, when I'm soloing like that, I'm always keeping the groove in the back of my mind. Like a shuffle is such an important rhythm to learn and understand. It's really the foundation of jazz music for sure, and like the swing of it. But you got to be able to play a blues shuffle. I couldn't create a blues lesson here without playing a shuffle. So we've covered the major pentatonic. Next we'll learn the Mixolydian mode, which is a very useful scale. Now the Mixolydian mode sounds like this. And it's just a major scale with a flattened seventh. kind of a wacky sound. And I'll demonstrate it over a blues. Same old shuffle blues in G. Here we go. Let me talk about what I was doing there. So I'm playing the G Mixolydian mode over the G chord. I'm playing the C Mixolydian mode over the C chord. I'm playing the D Mixolydian mode over the D chord. And back to the G. And sometimes I hammer on from the flat third to the major third. Because a lot of blues music in the blues sound is between that flat third and the major third. So if we hammer on, we kind of get a little bit of that halfway sound in there, rather than just playing. It just doesn't sound as bluesy as kind of thing. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. But the Mixolydian mode is a really useful scale for playing over jazz tunes, of course, but also for blues. I hope you didn't feel that what I played was just like super jazzy. I'll play a little more using this mode and show you how it can be quite a great blues sound. Something like that. I might have thrown a flat 5 in there occasionally, but Mixolydian mode, that's the real heart of that kind of playing. So we've learned the major pentatonic and the Mixolydian mode. Next, we're going to learn the Bebop Dominant scale, which is a really useful scale. It sounds like this. It does sound a little more jazzy, but you can really make good use of it in the blues. So all it is a Mixolydian mode, but with a natural 7th in addition to the flat 7th. So it's going to sound like this. And I'm going to show you another cool note to throw in there. Another 2 cool notes, actually. So there's the kind of Bebop Dominant scale. You can add the flat 5 and create this sound. And you can also add the flat 3rd and create this sound. Something like that. Now, that sounds like a lot of chromaticism, and it is a lot of chromaticism, but it's a real useful and musical kind of chromaticism, especially if you're thinking in terms of target notes. So if you're thinking in terms of like, you've got this note, which is a G, and you're coming down to this G, and you kind of go down chromatically with that Bebop Dominant sound. Root note, major 7th, flat 7th, 6th, 5, flat 5, 4, minor 3rd, major 3rd, to the root. You can hear it's quite jazzy and it's quite boom, boom, boom. It's very swinging, but I'll demonstrate it in what sounds like hopefully more of a bluesy way than a jazzy way. You be the judge of that. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Same G shuffle as before. Something like that. I could play that all day. It's good fun. It does sound more jazzy than bluesy, you might say, but really, really cool scale, really, really cool sound. And all of these sounds can be blended to create a really expressive blues solo. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I've demonstrated the minor pentatonic scale in G, the blues scale in G, major pentatonic scale, the Mixolydian Mode, the Bebop Dominant scale. All very useful and cool sounds for playing the blues. So I'll finish up by playing one more chorus and I'll just play over it using a combination of these different sounds and see if you can hear which sound is which. I hope you felt like this lesson has been informative and not just me showing off. I don't want to just show off, but I don't want to just sit here and show you every single scale fret by fret in this particular video. If you want me to do that in other videos, let me know. This is really just a bird's eye view of 5 really, really great scales that I believe are so useful for playing over the blues. So, here's our shuffle. Here we go. Good fun. Not perfect. I can be guilty of overplaying sometimes, but you know what? I have a good time, and I certainly want to share this passion I have for playing music. And you know, I learned probably the most about playing the blues from hanging out with Robin Ford, who's one of my favorite blues players. You might say he's a jazz blues player. I think he's just a phenomenal musician and a wonderful person. And he really taught me so much about playing with passion and conviction. And I really can't put into words all the things I gleaned from spending time with him and hearing his sound and his touch and his articulation. But the way I have kind of figured out approaching the blues, like I've showed you, very much goes in line with what some of the things that I hear players like Rob and Ford do. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and do take good care. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to download my free backing tracks. You can download a whole host of really great backing tracks for great tunes that are all recorded in high fidelity for you to have a great time playing along your own solos and improvising, playing the blues and beyond. I wish you all the best. Cheers.